You're with Dion at HDpiano, and this is Better Days by Dermot Kennedy. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're into the verse now. And now the pre-chorus. And we're going to pause there just before we hit the chorus. That'll be in the next section at HDpiano. So we're covering here quite a section of the song, but as you may have noticed, there's lots of repetition through this first intro, the verse, and the pre-chorus. So let's get stuck in, because this is a really easy song to play and is a fantastic way to practice a few other tools on the piano. So let's get started. We are on middle C. You're going to hear this note a lot in this song. It's almost every second note you hear, if not more. We're going to be doing that note a lot with the right hand in particular. So the left hand is going to start by playing the A just below middle C. I'm going to play that A and then 2 middle Cs with the right hand. I'm going to change the A in the left hand to an F, down to a C in the left hand, and then up to a G. And in this case here, we're going to change the C in the right hand to a B. So we have a pattern of 4 different bass notes: A, F, C, and G. And then just the 2 different notes in the right hand. C for the first 3 bass notes, and then B over the top of the G. Let's see how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. A really simple, really beautiful pattern. Now, in terms of which fingers to use, in this case, it's kind of irrelevant as long as it feels easy to use. Sometimes I start with my 3rd finger on the C in the right hand. Sometimes I start with my 2nd finger. Sometimes I might even start with my thumb. As long as I can get down to that G easily, then I don't really mind what you start with on the right hand. With the left hand, put your thumb on the A, and that way you've got some access to the rest of the notes as you come down through your hand without having to move too far. So that is the pattern through the intro and also through the verse. Both verses follow that same pattern. It goes through twice as long in the verse as it does in the intro. So we'll play it through a couple of times more for the verse, but I want you to pay attention to what's happening on the screen in regards to the pedaling that I'm using. So I'm changing the pedal, or resetting the pedal, letting go, every time I change bass note. So I'm holding the pedal down, and then as I play my next bass note, I'm going to reset the pedal and put it back down. That's going to allow my notes to be played nice and short, but to still have them flow. Here's an example of what it would sound like without the pedal. 3, 4. If I add the pedal in, notice how it changes and makes everything sound much more smooth. Now I can play with that smoothness without the pedal, but it's not quite the same. And because we're repeating notes in the right hand, there's always going to be a little bit of a gap in between each C we're playing, because it's impossible not to. But with the pedal, that gap gets eliminated. So this is a good song to practice your pedaling technique on. So let's go through the intro and the verse. It goes through the pattern twice for the intro and then 4 times for the verse, and I'll talk you through it. Now, in this song, the tempo is about 100 beats per minute, around what I was just playing then, but I'm going to slow it down for you just a little bit, and then we'll play it at full speed again to finish. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the verse. So that's the intro and the verse. Now let's talk about the pre-chorus. As a reminder, here's how the pre-chorus sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see some of the similarities from the verse to the pre-chorus? There's quite a few actually. Now, the left hand still plays our pattern of A, F, C, and G, but you'll notice this time that we're now playing octaves, so we're playing 2 of each note. Adds a little bit more heft to the song. Now, a hot tip with these octaves, rather than trying to hold a stiff hand shape and move it around, which creates a bit of tension through the hand. If you're trying to move a stiff object, it's much harder than moving a loose object. So once you've played one pair of notes, let yourself release off those notes, find the next pair. Even get your fingers in contact with the notes before you play them. Makes everything feel a little looser and easier to move. So we're playing through those same 4 notes with octaves instead of single notes. The second time through, rather than hitting G, we land on an E for something a little different. Now the right hand, we're still playing lots of these C's and the 2 B's after our G and also after the E in the bass. But in between our 2 C's, we're going to play another C an octave above. Now in the recording, this sounds like a second piano part that's been recorded over the top, but we're playing both piano parts on the one piano here. So with our combination of octave left hand and our back and forth right hand from low, high, low, we get a new pattern out of the same notes that we had from the intro and the verse up until we get to that change in the left hand with E. So when we get to the G, we have 2 B's instead of 2 C's, and the same with the E, we have 2 B's instead of 2 C's. Let's go through that pre-chorus together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the pre-chorus. Let's go all the way back to the intro. We're going to go through the whole thing one more time, but this time we're at full speed. Now this song is about 100 beats per minute, a nice round number. A little faster than we were playing it just then, so I'll count you in and see if you can play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the verse. Get ready for the pre-chorus. And there we have it. Great job so far on learning through part 1. If you're on HDpiano, just click on the next lesson to continue. And if you're on YouTube, head over to HDpiano.com for the rest of the song. Do you have a request? Well, visit requests.hdpiano.com and follow us on your favorite socials at HDpiano. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and give us feedback in the comments. My name is Dion, and you're at HDpiano, the home of the hybrid piano lesson.